Let's check this out with the responsibilities of the Christian taxpayer. It says, among the many ways in which we are reckless with money in the United States, we pay very little, if any, attention to how much we pay in taxes. We simply observe the net caption on our paychecks without observing the gross, or we just see the direct deposit balance in our bank accounts, never seeing a pay stub, remaining oblivious to our tax burden. This ignorance has given rise to several specious misconceptions. Would somebody like to read number one for us there?
Many taxpayers think tax returns are a gift from the government. Tax returns are not a gift. They are a return of our own money that the government never should have taken in the first place. When you receive a tax return, remember, you loan money to the government interest-free. If you are late in paying your taxes, the government charges you interest and fees.
Indeed. So tax returns are not a gift from the government. This is not the government being nice to you. It is the government giving you money it never should have taken in the first place, and they're not paying you any interest on it. If you're late in your payments to the government, they're going to make you pay interest and fees on that. And that's where people say, oh, I got this much money in my tax return. And I say, that's not something you should be proud of. You just foolishly loaned money to the government as if money in the hands of the government is more powerful than money in the hands of the people of God. Somebody want to read number two?
Because government entitlement spending is by far the highest federal budget expenditure, many taxpayers have mistakenly come to believe that the government is a charity. They believe the government can help the less fortunate by redistributing wealth with little or no oversight as to how the money is spent. This belief has permeated many members of the Christian community to the point of a false belief that claiming tax deductions is a sin. As Christians, we must make sure that money in the hands of the people of God is far more powerful than money in the hands of our government. We must take advantage of any legal method at our disposal to retain as much money as possible by diminishing our tax burden.
So is money in the hands of the government more powerful than money in the hands of the people of God? I sure hope not. And this idea, this comes from somebody I talked to that was in this class years ago. Their belief that claiming a tax deduction even on your church tithes is some kind of a sin. When the truth is, the church, under all legal standards, is a charity that we can claim a deduction for. And we've gone over ad nauseum how important it is not only to tithe, but how those tithes are used to pay the administration here. I love Pastor Conity, and he should get paid. I don't care if it would make him a millionaire or a billionaire. He's doing the Lord's work. And we also need to pay our musicians. We need to pay to keep the lights on. We need to pay the people that clean the building. We need to pay the people that work in the office. I don't know who gets paid and who's doing it voluntarily, but those are very important things to keep in mind as we continue to try to retain as much of this money so that we can use it in the reflection of our Christian values. Number three, the false conception that the poor among us are a problem for the government to solve through the use of our taxes is an abdication of our Christian responsibilities to help the poor. While the government and even citizens who believe they are doing good give money to poor people, this gives us a way to ignore the actual needs of the poor. We are called to give food, drink, shelter, clothing, care, and companionship to the poor, not money. We talked about that when we were in the 25th chapter of Matthew in the conscientious charity lesson, which I think was the last lesson I taught here about a month ago. And that's something that Christians, if you want to go back to that lesson in the Strong Meat Bible Study channel on YouTube or Rumble, you're welcome to check that out. But that's a misconception that we have, is that we are supposed to give money directly to individual poor people. There is not an example of this in the Bible. There is no part of this where it says that we are supposed to do that in the Bible. We are supposed to give food, drink, shelter, clothing, care, and companionship to the poor. Because if somebody's approaching me and asking me for money and I just give them some money, I'm just paying him not to bug me. I'm just paying him to abdicate my Christian responsibility to that individual. No, I won't give you money, but I'm about to walk into this restaurant, I'll buy you lunch. If there's some other need, no, I won't give you bus fare, but oh, hey, I'm going to Henderson right now, I'll give you a ride. And it'll give me an opportunity. Whenever I do that, I try to take the opportunity to sit down with that person, get to know them a little bit, rather than just handing them money and paying them not to bother me. Those are some of the most important things that I think we need to keep in mind as Christian taxpayers. To end off the notes here, it says, pay attention to what you pay in taxes. If we had to pay taxes manually rather than having them automatically deducted, we would be forced to pay attention to how much we pay. More attention to our pay stubs and the taxes we are paying would transform the way we vote and in turn transform the behavior of our government, causing it to align more congruently with our values. Something very important to keep in mind, because we all have a responsibility as Christian taxpayers, not only to the government, but also to the poor. And of course also to God, because if you are untrustworthy about worldly wealth, who will trust you with the true riches of heaven?